Cara, good morning. Another couple of very busy days and a lot of scientific evidence being produced here.
That's right, Bill. Yeah, we've had a lot of witnesses come through, and like you said, we've had testimony from investigators who did an interview/interrogation, whatever you want to term it, with Caitlin Conley, and then also, like you said, a lot of DNA evidence that's come out in the last couple of days.
Okay, so what are we learning here? And we've talked about this too. This is the prosecution's case at this point. So it should begin to look like Caitlin Conley is guilty. It should look that way. This is their case where they're trying to present their evidence to sway the jury. Do you get that feel? And, you know, you got to ask yourself, it looks like her DNA is all over this bottle of colchicine, and so why did she have contact with it? Has there been any explanation to that?
Well, so some of her DNA, I guess, was found on the colchicine bottle, and then there was also her DNA was found on the cardboard wrapping that surrounded that bottle. And their, the defense's argument, or what they've kind of been bringing up, and that Caitlin has brought up in the interviews and interrogations, is that she thought she saw a bottle that was spilled over in the office and thought it was something called Colacol, which they had at the office, but noticed it was weird because it was a powder instead of a pill form like it normally is. But she cleaned it up real quick and wiped it back into the bottle and closed the bottle up and put it back in the packaging. And that's her claim of kind of connecting the dots of, well, if she did come in contact with this colchicine bottle, it was by mistake and she didn't realize that that's what it was.
Yeah. And then the note. Why the note? And I know there have been deputies that are testifying about the interview, and also you had a chance to watch this hour-long video. Why? What was her intention? What was she thinking when she sent this note that basically said, "Boy, you can check in his car"?
Mm-hmm. Well, according to her in this interview, is that she wanted to be able to help, but she was afraid to put her name on it because she says time and time again in this interview that she's afraid of Adam. She's afraid of what he might do, and she's afraid of him knowing that she's talking to police. And so to her, her claim is that she wanted to be able to help police. She didn't think that she had found out. Adam had told her supposedly what he had done, and that the colchicine bottle was in his vehicle. And she claims that he told her it was a control thing, is what she said. But she felt like she needed to tell police what he had done, and that's why she sent the letters.
Yeah. I guess that's logical, right? I mean, that would be a logical boy. But it's really interesting to have all of these things fall into play, and shows that now you're the one targeted for the murder. How about the testimony of the deputies, the people who did the interview? What did we take from them? They seem to be all in that yes, she is the one that. We kind of caught her red-handed. The letter was a game changer, etc.
Right. I think one of the biggest things that they focused on, I know there is still more to come from these investigators, but so far what they've really been focusing on is at this point, they've been able to connect Conley to this Gmail account, this Mr. Adam Yoder 1990 account, which was used to purchase the colchicine and do communications with the company, and things like that. They found, and at that point during the interview and the interrogation, they had realized that her phone had directly logged into that account and had closed the account. So they were really trying throughout that time to understand why she is connected to that Gmail account. If she had claimed in the very beginning she knew nothing about it,
right.
Now her phone and her family's computer at their house is directly connected to it. They keep asking her during the interview, be truthful with us. We want you to be truthful with us. We need to rule you out as a suspect.
And I'm assuming the defense is saying, well, Adam Yoder had access to that phone, and Adam Yoder was the one that set up the Wi-Fi. And is that where Policelli's going?
Exactly. He hasn't been he's brought it up and hasn't been super bold about that allegation yet, but he kind of throws in little tidbits like, well, could this have been the case? And could this have been the case? And could Adam have, been on her? But now we've got computer forensics experts getting on the stand now. And so a lot of that is now going to be clarified and see, is that a possibility? Was there evidence of that? And they'll be on. They started yesterday and will continue today.
And was there one? There seemed to be possibilities just being thrown out there, possible scenarios. At one point, did they throw out that maybe Adam Yoder and Caitlin Conley, that she was actually helping him? Was that thrown out recently?
Well, there was a comment made in this video that I didn't. I think the interrogation/interview video that was played this time was a bit different from the one that was played during the first trial. And something that we caught this time around was that Conley had said that originally she said she had never heard of colchicine, but then she claimed in this most recent video that she actually maybe heard of it about a year ago or a year prior to that, and Adam had brought it up to her and asked her where he might be able to get some. Which was pretty eyebrow raising. He really asked you that, So I think that was something where it was like, brought up maybe that question at this point.
And then we were just talking with somebody that didn't realize this, but the other thing that's been thrown around is that maybe Adam Yoder and his mom, the victim, were planning this grow operation where they would grow marijuana, and that's what this chemical, this drug, was going to be used for, because it does accelerate the growth of vegetation or marijuana, right?
Right, and they haven't had anyone directly. Someone has said, that it's used for plants overall, but it'll be interesting to see if the defense has someone get on the stand during their time to really emphasize that point. But yes, Policelli did bring that up right from the very beginning in opening statements. And I was surprised, though, he didn't bring it up during cross-examination against Adam Yoder. So that was never discussed or anything of that sort during the cross-examination of that witness.
All right. So any idea what to expect today?
Computer stuff.
More computer stuff,
evidence, forensics, things like that. So it's going to be, yesterday we ended the day with basically a 2-hour lecture about computers and how they work and what all these definitions. And so that's going to continue today, talking more specifically about all of the 28 different devices that they were given over at the Utica College Cyber Forensic Center, and talking more about what they found.
And, her DNA being there, the fact that stuff has been, she's logged into this email address. There's so many different, there's no doubt that the prosecution has a lot of evidence, circumstantial evidence, but there's real evidence there that puts her in some sort of contact with all of this. Certainly going to be interesting. And then how much longer do you think they have? This, and again, this is a little tough to, this is not your, this is very technical evidence, but how much longer do you think the prosecution has to go?
I really don't know. And I again, like I told you last time, I did write down exactly who all the witnesses were, but I don't believe there are many more after this. I know that there's the man who's on right now, Mr. Martino, and then Nick Gilberti, who actually did the work of analyzing all the computers, and his testimony took quite a while last trial. And then there's also the investigators will return to the stand. So at least at least a couple more days.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Cara Thomas, Spectrum News, from inside the courtroom in the Conley trial. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill.
All right. We'll do it again. This is just, this is the making of, whether we like it or not. And there's humans involved here. These are real people and families, and this is terrible for all of them. And certainly there's somebody that's deceased. But, when you're looking from Hollywood or L.A. out there, they're looking at this as being, they see this as their next big Lifetime movie. And Dateline is all over this case. It's crazy.